Hi everyone, welcome to my creative escape for Wednesday night. So good to see you. Thanks for joining me. You're with Rochelle at Stamping Flair. This is my weekly Facebook Live, my regular Facebook Live, and I'm glad you can join me. I'll give a few moments for you to hop on, say hi, and I'll share with you today a sketch. You can check out the sketch on my blog at 8 o'clock. I'm doing this for a blog hop, but you can, it's a version of the card I'll be sharing on my blog hop. So please check it out at 8 o'clock when we go live. But I'll be sharing a similar card so you can see how much you can do with one sketch. So a card sketch is a layout, and I find that you can use layouts in many ways. You can flip them and use them vertically, horizontally. You can use them. I've even used sketches, the same sketch on a card and the same one on a scrapbook page. So even if you want to do a home decor piece like a sample or something, you can switch it around and use it. So make the most of it, and it gives you a great starting point with sketches, I find, and it makes it very easy to start creating, because sometimes you just don't know. So sketches are good, and I like also colors, color palette challenges where you get a set of colors. So look out for those sketches even in our catalog. There's lots of them, and I do go to our catalog for that as well. So you will find lots of sketches that you can copy and use it with whatever stamp sets or bundles that you have, and whatever papers you have, or just copy it straight and see what you can come up with. So today I'm working with the Home and Garden bundle, which is a really great set. I think obviously geared for gardeners, but especially I think for masculine projects, for those who may find it a bit trickier to make some masculine cards. And with this catalog you get a lot of Father's Day stamp sets and things like that, because obviously in America Father's Day is around this time of the year. So if you're looking at that kind of thing, I suggest you get anything that interests you in that area now, because there's no guarantee they're going to be available after June. And our Father's Day is in September, so I kind of think ahead for that. And today we're doing a dad card, so it's not necessarily for Father's Day, but it could be a birthday card, but it is a more masculine project, but not necessarily. You can always switch that dad around and just make it a straight birthday card, which you can use for anybody. Change the paper around and it becomes a nice girl card. So this is the bundle, the Home and Garden bundle. It's anytime, it's always on sale when you see the 10% off our bundles. That's the bundle price. You get 10% off for the stamp and the dies, so rather than purchasing it separately, you get that together. So it's on page 72 of our mini catalog. And so you've got thanks for helping me grow. I think that is great for even a teacher gift, or you could make some gifts for them, or for end of year, for thank you cards for a teacher. So thinking of things like that, and of course for dads, or birthday wishes, and to the man who can't do anything. So that can be for anyone really. You can turn any guy. So some lovely little things. It combines well with the rainbow stamp set, which is in this catalog as well. So you can mix and match. And if you have some of our older sets which had the wheelbarrow and things like that, you can really make a really nice garden themed project. You can mix it with those tulip and the pots, and if you have the kit, which is the Weather Together, that one would work well with it too. So there's some good sets to go around. So I'm mixing mine today with the Here's the Man Suite from our new catalog. So I have got an early espresso card base. So this is a variation on the card that I am sharing with you on my blog hop today, but it is similar, and I just share with you some tips which you can use in your card making. So I hope that helps you along the way. And I've got a piece of the Heath Cement paper, which is just a basic mat of 9.9 by 14.2. That's the other side, and that's the side I'm going to be using. I've got so the sketch is will be up on my blog at 8. Another piece of the Heath Cement paper, and that's the other side. So it's got cards up there, so you can use that. This is a piece of artistically composed paper. I'm just going to be using a little bit of that. So this is just going to go like that, but behind that, that's our sketch basically. So it's going to sit like that. But I'm just going to work on this piece a little bit. And I'm going to go with soft succulent. And the stamp I'm using to create this little background is the Nature's Harvest stamp set. Now this was, and I'm just going to use that particular stamp in there. Always look out for stamps that you can use in your stamp sets for other projects. So this is like what I would call just blotch, but you can use it really well with like just for background. So think of it that way, and you get lots of use out of it. Or an ink splatter or something, you can, it looks great. So just stamping off with soft succulent, and you see how it gives that just that nice background texture. I'm only gonna need that corner for that. Then I'm gonna bring in this, and we are going to keep this straight and just attach that like that with a bit of glue. So that's why I just needed a little bit there. I just put a little bit just to stick that down. And I'll just set that aside. Now we're going to stamp some images from this garden stamp set, the Home and Garden. So got early espresso, and I'm going to stamp the ladder. And the rake. What I've got here now is a few of this natural tone stamping blends. These come in packs of 2. This is SE 400, 300, 400 and 600. Now I'm going to put up a note once I find out what there's a medium combo. When you go to purchase it, they're in like medium, dark combos. So it's not in these numbers, and I will give you those, find out which colors they are. But I use them. These are great for not only skin tones, but they work for these kind of wood, and I've done chocolates, if you remember. It just works well for that sort of coloring. I'm just going to color in my letter. And this is a little bit of a more reddy tone, which I'm going to bring in. I'm doing that the step of the rung, which is, so the fold is going to be darker. And then I'll bring back the lighter shade. So you can get your different types of wood as well when you use this, the different colors. Thank you so much for being with me tonight. I appreciate it. Please ask me any questions as we go along, and give me some feedback. And if you like the video, please like it, share it, as it helps me and it helps someone else get some creativity. I'm just going to bring in this darker one, and this one is the SC, it seems darker, but it's SC300, so I'm just going to bring that in under to add some shading. And we'll go back and blend that in. So just taking a little bit of time with this, and right. Now for my rake, I have got Poppy Parade, this will tie in. It seems a bit mad at the moment, but just gonna go, just adding a little bit of color in here. Just something a little bit different. Okay. Then just get any of those browns or whatever and color that in. Now, I've got some dies from the He's the Man suite. Now these dies will be cutting. You get some great shapes, so look out for any of those dies in our catalog, which will create those kind of nice shapes. I'm just going to get my dies for the ladder. Just bear with me. So we can do all our die cutting together. So most of the, like, these will cut out with our label, with these dies. So we've got the ladder. That's gonna die cut. The rake's gonna die cut. So you can cut a bunch of these and keep out if you want stamp, and cut a bunch of them, and then you can create as you need. And you can even have the cards made up, and all then you have to do is just add a sentiment to suit the occasion. Because sometimes even when you make the card, I find for me the sentiment can be tricky and can take a little bit of time as to what to do, and you can just work around. I know with placement and things you can work around it, but at least then you've got the card made up to make life a bit easier. Trim that down so it fits in there. dies, but we'll just run that through our die cutting machine. So that's the ladder and the brake. Next I'm going to die cut a soft succulent circle. So this is from that He's the Man Suite. So even though it belongs to like or coordinates with the stamp set, these stand alone on, so you don't need the stamp set for these dies, and they work on their own. I'm just getting the bits and pieces all done. I just need a little bit of this. So these banners cut 2 at a time, but I only need 1. I'm gonna cut 1. And even with things like that, you can cut 2 and keep for another project. I just have a sandwich bag with all those bits and pieces which come with the He's the Man suite. You get 2 die cut sheets in that suite. I pulled them all out and kept them together. Now, for a sentiment piece, I'm going to color this in with, again, with some of these Kintine or natural chain stamping blends, and I'll start with the darker color on the outer and bring it in. And I'm bringing a darker color on the extreme outside. Now we'll just go in with this. I'll just color it. I will blend that in. So this is a good method for getting like your color matching and things like that with your blends. I like doing this because it really, then it matched with my ladder nicely. And I just wanted a more subtle kind of effect. It's similar to Cinnamon Cider, but not quite, which is one of our retiring colors. But you can do this with any of our stamping blends. I find it gives a bit of a suede look when you do this. Bit of edge. That last color was SU400. Now remember, this stamp we'll give that a clean. And let's bring in early espresso. And just stamp off. And I'm just going to add some texture. Now when I did this, I felt it had that old weathered, like a leather look. So you can see that kind of gives you that extra texture. On that, and I think it's nice to, we're going to stamp the sentiment on it, but it's nice to give a little bit of extra on your sentiments and a nice background to your sentiments sometimes. Just getting my heat gun ready. I'll bring in Versamark, and we're going to emboss in white embossing powder. So Versamark is a gluey ink pad, so it has like a gluey substance which makes the embossing powder stick onto it, and then you can heat it. Take a brush and get rid of that excess. I'm just going to heat my heat gun for a few seconds before I heat this up. And I'm just doing it on setting 2. Some of the embossing powder did get stuck only because I hadn't dried that ink before, and it's not too bad. So I was going to color it in with the with my stamping blends, but I think I can go without. Alright, let's assemble this together. The first thing is I am going to put some ribbon around this, get some tear and tape, and I'm following because I'm following a sketch, and I'll pop that sketch up as soon as I finish this. And if you make a card with that sketch, just pop it in the comments. I'd love to see it. This is the full suede early espresso ribbon, and I'm putting that, I need 2 rows of some sort of hang on, the the sketch was this way. 2 rows of some sort of ribbon or banner here. So I chose 2 different ribbons, and my early espresso was the heavier color, so I put that at the bottom layer. Okay, I felt that that was a heavier ribbon. Now I'm bringing in this fan baker's twine. You get 3 in this. You get a Night of Navy, Evening Evergreen, I think, yes, and this one, which is a double color, so you got white and Poppy Parade. So I'm just taking 2 of that. I'm glad I did this Facebook Live today. I really nearly didn't do it today. Today was a tough day for me because it's been 20 years since my mum passed away, and I think that was just playing on my mind, and I was not feeling the best. But crafting is good and meeting everyone is good. So let's stick this down. Now you see why I added that little bit pop of Poppy Parade on my rake there. Oh, I did have my other little banner, didn't I? Where did I put it? We can cut another one. Did I just throw it? I tell you what. Never mind, we can cut another one. I just threw some rubbish, but it wasn't rubbish. Trim another bit, and we'll cut 2 while we're at it. Got 2. If I lose the other one, I'll throw the other one. I've got a spare. Now I'm using this on this sketch. There was a bow there, right? And instead of doing a bow, I kind of did this for something a little bit different. And I know it's a little bit darker, this piece, but it's okay. Just another layer to add some texture on that. Now we'll glue that on. And we'll put our, might put a dimensional there. It might, because it's on top of ribbon, so it's already kind of sticking up. That's there. Now and see how that when you have that coloring, it just pops against that soft succulent circle. And we'll break that up by putting it in there. a dimensional under that. So then we can put some dimensionals on that sentiment. Alright, now even though that ladder is a similar color, or it uses some of the same colors, it does stand out because it's got that white edging on the sides. I'm going to cut a bit of strip there, and we just want a little bit on this side, and maybe some here we are. Here's a bit there. Put that on the bottom rung so that stays down. Just feeling all the backing. I haven't taken all the backing off. So you're getting some height variation as well there. Still feel it needs something, so because my other one had something a little bit different, and I'll show you what I did a little bit different. Let's see, we've got these which I haven't even used, so let's see. It's got stars, but doesn't matter. You can use pebbles, but I think it needs something a bit to make that pop. This is the same from the fan one, resin stars, but it's I just said it before, in Baker's Twine, from the same suite. And well, that's a star. Now for my inside, I would bring back my famous this podgy thing. And I did the same thing on the envelope. And we can stamp the letter just partially, so it gives an idea of what's coming inside the card when they open the envelope. You can color that or leave it. I tend to not make my life harder. Sometimes I do, but it's just a silhouette kind of thing. So its dad. You probably want to color it in, make it a little bit extra special. So that's pretty much see, I've got a bit of, I'm going to cover that swatch. Let me see what I've done. That's what these sort of stamps are good for, fixing messes. Alright, so that's that one. I'll show you, and for more details on how I made this and the other card I'm going to show you, check out my blog post. This is the other one. Clean that, show you the clean side. So it's very similar, but I use Night of Navy there, and yeah, just check out the post. I'll have all the details and how these little things there was one lot in the pack, so I used it all, but it's just similar card, but it just gives you totally different. So if you've got a dad, father-in-law, you can use same card, different look, so they're not getting the same card. I hope you have enjoyed that. If I can help you with your ordering, please don't hesitate to contact me. Currently the joint offer gives you a whole in color pack as well, so you're going to get $350 worth of product for $169. So the in color pack gets you 5 ink pads, the 5 new ink pads, and cardstock and designer series paper and grid paper, all plus your $235 of your choice of product. So you may like to add the Here's the Man suite or the garden bundle or whatever you like, you can add in that. But I hope you've enjoyed that. Please check out the rest of our team at 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock now. So in a few minutes, make sure everyone's on. We're around the world on Wednesday blog hop. So we're from New Zealand to Hawaii. Everybody will be using this same sketch. So I can't wait to see what everyone creates and how they interpret it. And you'll get lots of ideas. And you can see how one sketch can create so many different projects. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll have my shopping link up there for you to place an order, or I can place that for you. And if you have any questions, how to create this or anything like that, please contact me and I'll be happy to help you. Have a great rest of the week, everyone. Bye bye.